right. This is strong arming.
I'd like to call to order the Tuesday, April 16th, 2024 meeting of the Ione City Council. Janice, if you'll take roll.
Councilmember Mitchell,
Here.
Councilmember Rhodes,
Here.
Vice Mayor Ratten,
Here,
and do we have Dominic?
Dominic is out, he's ill, and Mayor LaFane will be here, but she's late.
Okay,
Yeah, she's en route.
thank you.
We will be moving the closed session. I'll take a motion to move the closed session to the end of the meeting.
I move to move closed session to the end of the meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. And if you'll all please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Agenda's moved, carried. We have no presentation or announcements. At this point, we will take public comment. This is public comment that on subjects not currently on this agenda. If you could limit your public comment to 4 minutes, that would be great. Any takers on Zoom? Oh, I was say, Tommy, where are you?
Boy, Tommy.
Yeah. You see me limping along. I got up this morning at 3 when I heard a cat fight out in the porch. And I kicked that upright thing on the bed frame, you know, where the wheel attaches, and got it good on that third toe. So yeah, it smarts. Couple things. First one is on a personal level. I have 6 cats. I've had cats since I was a little kid. I bring cats home and get them fixed and get their shots and stuff. And or I'll get cats at the animal control if they're old and sometimes nobody wants them. I got 4 dogs too. That's something else. Anyhow, somebody's been coming into our neighborhood, which is right downtown here. I live at Royal Seco Street South. And they snatch the cats and they get them fixed. And I have mixed feelings about that. I mean, I've fixed a lot of animals, but they do it on the sly. And so last week I noticed my cat, Dooley the drooler. He drools like crazy. Somebody got him and trimmed his ear and did a painful job of it. And Dooley's been fixed for years and he's a gentle cat and nobody in the neighborhood did that. Somebody came into the neighborhood and they also got a hold of Tim Riley's cat, a little guy, and fixed him. And while I appreciate not having more kittens, I think it's really disgusting if people do this thing at night when nobody's looking, put traps out and catch the cats, especially if it's not a wild cat. So if I find those people, I'm going to have a talk with them. That's the first thing. Second thing is driving in Ione. I brought that up last meeting. For instance, I was walking my dog, Noe, who I found on 88 running along the highway and got her fixed. She's a good dog. But here comes the sheriff's car off of Main Street up Church Street. And he's stepped on the pedal pretty darn hard, but he wasn't going to anywhere, you know, it wasn't going that fast. There seems to be a problem with people observing speed limits, turn signals. Now there's a feature that is going to catch on someday. And not driving neighborly. I would appreciate our great police department. A lot of you here today. I don't know, somebody's gonna get an award or something. We have the best, I say this every meeting when I bring this stuff up, we have the blessed and best police department around. There's nobody even a close second. And I would like to, you know, here's one thing. We could put signs and tell me when I got a minute left. Signs at either end of our town that say, welcome to Ione. We observe our traffic laws here and our sound laws, you know, probably cost a couple $100 a sign, but that would be a good idea because people will come in at 4 in the morning, as Stacy will attest, to just make a heck of a lot of noise All weekend is just killer. This is a great town. I know that it was called all sorts of negative
1 minute
comments.
warning.
Okay, thank you. I'm getting there. And I'd like to see us kind of pick it up a little bit about having a little traffic control in this town. And that's it. I can't think anything else. Hope everybody doing law enforcement, seems like everybody's here, is having a good, blessed and comfortable time. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone on Zoom? Nope. Any other public comment? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and close public comment. Moving on to information items. Anything anybody wants to do with the information items, council? Nope. Okay. We'll move to the consent calendar. A motion to approve the consent calendar.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Consent calendar's approved. And moving on to our regular agenda. We have the police department relocation proposal.
That went a little quicker than I thought.
This is the kind of meeting I like to be in charge of.
All right. Thank you, City Council, for taking the time for us to present this tonight. A little background on this. The police department, we've been operating out of City Hall for quite some time. And recently, with the influx of new folks in our city and with the rise in cases we're taking, we're now now in a position where we don't have space. To be quite frank, our property room, I can't stuff anything else in there. And so that's what really prompted this. I do want to preface this with, this is a 2-year temporary fix to our current issue, which can't quickly be remedied. So having said that, I will continue with my PowerPoint. So we're going to just discuss the current facility, talk a little bit about population growth, our current staffing, policing trends, city needs. We're going to talk about 17 East Main Street next door, as well as the new location, proposed location, and budget implications. So our current facility is 1 East Main Street, part of City Hall. In the 2005 Development Impact Fees update, the update stated that the needed improvements identified for the PD included a new facility with office space, briefing room, holding facilities, and locker rooms. Well, that obviously hasn't happened, and we've definitely outgrown our current location. So, you know what they say, a picture tells 1,000 words, right? So I put a bunch of pictures in here so you could kind of see what we're currently dealing with. So this one is our squad room, which is also our locker room, which is also our briefing room. It's also our storage, evidence processing, and report writing room. So, and it's, as you can see, it's a bit cluttered there. This is our front desk, which isn't sufficient to process records. You ought to see when our volunteers come in and try to do this. It's actually, I feel bad for them because you get 2 in there and they have stuff laid over the top of other things. So it's rather difficult. This is one of my favorite pictures. This is my office, which we also call the storage closet. As you can see, it's it's full of equipment and other items that really shouldn't be in my office. This is our records room, which is also kind of fun because it's supposed to hold all our reports, current reports, and records for the police department. And as you can see by these pictures, it kind of holds a little bit of everything. We got some traffic stuff in there. We have stuff for the our events that we hold, like Cops for Kids and the foundation events. And my favorite, this is the property room. So those of you that don't know, that door is literally where Officer Naveau is standing right now. That's the entrance to the property room. And as you can see, this picture on the left is the door open, looking inside. And as you can see, there is no space to walk in there. On the other side, you'll see a bunch of boxes. Those are all firearms that we've collected over the years that need to be disposed of. There's a closer picture. It's packed. In fact, I took these pictures before our last big case, which we collected, what was it, 124 pieces of evidence, something like that. And I had nowhere to put it. I had to put in our processing room, not the property room, because I don't have space. So a little bit about the city and population growth. So this slide shows a 20-year study that was done from 2000 to 2020. It breaks down the amount of residential units and the population. And as you can see, the difference between 2000 and 2020 is pretty significant. In fact, in the 20-year change from 2000 to 2020, it was a 94.6% growth. And then that doesn't even include what's happened between 2020 and 2023. As we all know, we put in a lot of new residential units in Wildflower as well as some in Castle Oaks. And then obviously, when you add more residents, you add more traffic, which we've already heard somebody talk about traffic issues this evening. So I got a slide in here on police department staffing. Currently, we're staffed with 8 full-time officers. And I'm included in that 8 count. And then we have 1 reserve officer, and then Mark Harmon, who's the part-time admin analyst that helps with some record stuff and different things like events and backgrounds. So currently, like I said, we got 8. National average is 2.4 officers for every 1,000 residents. And if you base that, look at the 2020 population, a couple slides back, we should be actually at 12.33 officers. So policing trends. The fun part about the policing trends is I was going to do a 20-year, kind of like the cities. I couldn't go back that far with our CAD system. They weren't using it that far back. So I did a 10-year. And as you can see by the graph here, the line graph, I mean, there's a significant difference. And in the 10-year trend from 2010 to 2020, we had 2,996 call difference. So we rose almost 3,000 calls between those 10 years. And then we also, during that same period of time, 785 more traffic stops were done for that year. And it doesn't, you got to look at 2020 because 2020 is when we had COVID. And so actually our calls for service and our traffic stops were actually low for that year. And I based that number off that year. So it's actually much higher than the numbers
Yeah, you got to
shown.
put an asterisk for all the COVID years. They
Yeah.
just are
Yeah,
anomalous.
definitely anomalous. So city needs. So the city hall has added new positions with no new workspace. During the time Rock was here, he added several new positions. 21, 22 fiscal year, there was 3 office staff added with no added workspace. I know we've added some more new ones recently. And to be quite honest, we have major parking issues here in City Hall. So between not having sufficient workspace for all the staff and then parking issues, that's a problem. So I knew this was going to come up, so I decided to discuss it right out the gate. 17 East Main Street. So that was originally purchased to turn into a PD, which is still not off the table. Okay. My problem is right now, there's no way to quickly do that and bring it up to par where we would be able to utilize it. I've been talking with the city manager and we're working together on getting a study done by the engineer to tell us how much it's going to cost to do this. So Again, what I'm proposing tonight is a temporary solution to our current problem, and that'll give us time to actually move forward with that. And if we decide not to move forward with that, it gives us a little time to look at other options. So currently, it's to get it where we could even use it, it's gonna be a considerable amount of money. And then we got to look at the funding for sources for remodeling, impact fees, or ARPA. I know originally, Michael Rock had said he was going to use ARPA money, but we got to review and see what we can do with that. And then the other issue with the 17 East Main Street, to be honest, is it's not going to fix our parking issues. That's not going to resolve that because we'll be kind of right back in the same spot we're in. So there's options we're looking at out there. So the proposed facility is 339 Preston Avenue, owned by Ion Plaza LLC. Everybody knows it as the old Golden One Bank. This building is pretty nice. I mean, to be honest, it's 2,000 square feet, considerably more space than we have now. The building will require minimal construction to move us from the PD to the new building, but we're talking very little cost. We're talking not to exceed $15,000 because the nice thing is it being a former bank, it's already got a bunch of the security things we require in place. In fact, their vault room, which they use for the money, is honestly probably, I don't know, it's over twice the size of our property room and our intake room combined. It's twice the size of that, which will give us plenty of storage for property and evidence. And that's going to take zero effort on our parts to transition that over. It also gives us extra room for locker room area for staff. We do have our newest officer is a female officer. And as you can imagine, in the pictures you saw earlier, all our lockers are in one room, and it's nice. This new building also has 2 bathrooms, so we can have a dedicated, women's locker room, bathroom, men's locker room, bathroom, so on. So these are just a couple pictures of it. On the left, that is the existing teller table, which we wouldn't change. That's going to stay there. On the far left, that's going to be a corporal workstation area. And then on the right, you can't really see it, is another table. That would be the officer's briefing or officer's workstation area. And then that center area would be used as a briefing table with equipment, other things that are actually stuffed in our little cubicles right now. The picture on the right is actually a picture of that safe room, the storage area. It's again, very huge. This is just one angle of it. Picture on the left is looking at the back room, which is going to be a break room / locker room if this is approved. And then the picture on the right is 2 storage closets. And then on each side of those storage closets are bathrooms. And then there's just a kind of a bunch of pictures there for everybody to look at. So I've already said the facility was a former bank, so it makes it a lot easier for us to transition to it. It's a rather quick fix. We can get in there in a fairly short period of time. There's plenty of room, approximately 2,000 square feet, and the price won't exceed $1.75 a square foot. Okay. I pulled Amador County and looked, and the ranges for commercial property right now go from $1 a square foot to $17.04 a square foot. I almost passed out when I saw that $17.04, and that's, by the way, that's up in Jackson. So it gives us a temporary home to remedy the long-term issue and find an actual home for us. The other nice thing about this is talking to the folks over at Ion Plaza LLC, we've gotten permission, if this is approved, to move our fleet over to the Plaza parking lot. They also own the gravel lot over there, and our overflow vehicles can go in that lot. So that means this entire area by Iron Ivan becomes clear to use for parking or whatever. So now the big question, right? This is what everybody's thinking about. Budget, where's this coming from? So the nice thing for us is working with Jody, our wonderful finance manager. We were discussing this and currently the PD has $1,056,706 in impact fees, which can be used specifically for things like this. So we discussed it and I made an executive decision, say, okay, let's put like a $250,000 reserve on that. That does not get touched at all. And we figured it out in the total project cost for the 2 years. So that's 2 years with the lease, everything, doing the construction. I mean, this is fully loaded, won't exceed $83,311. And that's the 2-year cost. And as you can see, we got a considerable amount of money in that impact fee that has not been touched. So again, this is my proposal to the council. I think this is a smart fiscal move for us, not only for the PD, but for the city. It helps resolve some immediate issues for actually both the city and the PD. So any questions?
I like it when you're ready to move.
It's got to be approved first.
Is that, you think for the 2 years there, that's suitable in every way that you've seen? I mean, you've gone through the proposal. That's your best shot.
Absolutely. In fact, originally, they actually wanted to do a 5-year and I said, no. I told them, I said, we want to do no more than a 2-year lease. I think that's sufficient time to at least find out what we're going to do, whether it's next door, whether we try to go for the property over off of Waterman Road, whatever, but that gives us time to sit there and point in a direction and start making some headway on it.
So how long is the construction going to take?
Honestly, a couple weeks.
Okay, and then you move in, you've got 2 years. Is there a way we could get an option for another year?
I'm sure there is.
And I would
Yeah,
think-
the potential extent.
My thing is, if you're moving and it's suited, and I like the proposal, I like the fact, I think it's smart. It gives us some flexibility and gives us some room to check out, see what we can do, and things may change in 2 years. My thing is, by the time you move over there and get settled in, you may be turning around and saying, okay, we're going to move again, where you may want to be staying there a little bit longer. So it'd be nice to have that option.
So that's actually in the contract or in the lease. If you look at it, it's written in for extensions and stuff. And also the action tonight is authorizing the city manager to execute this lease with Ion Plaza LLC. Once it's approved by the city attorney. He's had it for a bit, but he's got to go over it. There's a couple things he's got to do to make sure everything's set up for the city properly in there.
See some of the staffs here. Any of you guys want to say anything?
Uh-oh.
As John's very well aware, I do the evidence too, and we've definitely outgrown that. The other thing that I've heard from citizens is they like the fact that the ATM's still going to be there, and we're going to be open 24/7. So they feel a lot more safer, parking their cars late at night, whatever. The parking, we've already got complaints over for the restaurants saying, people are, overfilling, and, that would definitely work for us, moving those cars and helping out. I think it's a very smart move, especially like the chief said, we've outgrown this place, and, we deal with a lot in the admin section, and, we're growing as a department, and it's definitely something that we were all talking about. We were talking about the state facility too, but we just don't know when that's gonna ever come to fruition. And then next door, we talked about that too. So I think the chief did an outstanding job. I really think he did his homework on this, and yeah, I'm very happy if it goes forward.
Real quick, I'd like to point out, too, I'm glad Sergeant Scory said that. The ATM is going to stay. That was actually an option for us. We could tell the bank, nope, remove it or keep it. I'm like, if we get this approved, we're keeping it.
Be the
First of all,
safest ATM in the county.
oh, absolutely. Plus, it's nice. I can walk out the door, turn the corner, and there's an ATM. So
Are any of the utility costs covered by the landlord, water? Any of those things, or are all of those going to be on the police department as well?
all of those are on the police department, and we've got that factored in.
And I, like Councilman Mitchell, I would actually like to see a potential for two 1-year extensions, should we need them. That would give us some flexibility, in case, something comes up, we need more time. We always need more time.
In case we're
So,
slow,
well,
which never happens.
Yeah, we are always need more time. So, that would be my only, input on it, is I would like to see 2 1-year extensions.
I'm sure we can work that out.
Well, they wanted 5 years, so kind of giving them what they want, sort of.
Exactly.
Any other
That's
comment?
all.
I'll open up for public comment.
$79 sucks. Yeah, that's great. The only thing I ask is that if there's some consideration for a law enforcement officer being at City Hall, because a lot of women working there, and they've always been able to rely, go next door in case they needed something. And a desk or something like that at City Hall would I think be a good idea. Thank you.
Anybody on Zoom?
Oh,
No? Okay, I'll close public comment. I will entertain a motion.
I'd make a motion to accept the police department relocation proposal so that they can move forward and work out the details with Mr. Lee and the leaseor.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor, aye.
So just for clarification, for Janice's purposes, the staff recommended action would be appropriate for the motion. What Member Mitchell basically reiterated staff recommendation.
Motion is carried. And that is the agenda. We're going to go into closed session. We have a closed session conference with legal counsel.
Well, Member Ratten, you.
Oh, I'm missing one.
Yeah, you still have your,
Oh,
your
we got the
report
council and
from,
all that. Yeah, sorry.
from-
I lost my agenda.
that's
My
a-
agenda got caught up in the police.
I
Right.
don't want to give Mr. Lee, I want to make sure Mr. Lee gets his opportunity to have your first report to y'all.
Agenda was 1 page long.
Yeah, go.
All right, so now we're gonna go to reports and communications from city attorney.
Just wanted to report to the council that I am working with Mr. Lee as city manager to implement the trainings to the various committees. So we're coordinating that. Currently, was able to spend the day here at City Hall, met with Mr. Lee. We discussed, municipal procedure and some of the upcoming projects. So a lot of exciting things happening and good working relationship. Look forward to continued success.
Reports and communications from city manager.
Yes, Ms. Vice Mayor, thank you very much. Council members, it's been a wonderful 10 days or whatnot. The staff has been fantastic. All the council members have been fantastic as well. They've given me a lot of guidance and so forth. I've met with all the staff members and many of the community members and a lot more to go, but everybody has been wonderful. So I'm extremely proud and honored to be working for the city on your behalf. Just a couple of things. One of the things that we started off with through the help of Jody Stenick, we were able to finalize certain things with the Bank of Marin. So last year we received $513 in interest income. And should we move most of our accounts into money market accounts, we will receive 4.5%, estimated on an annual basis to come to 537,000. So I would highly recommend that we're going to do that. And so I think that'll be a nice boon for the city in terms of interest income to come. The next item, which Chief Allred alluded to, was we have requested Mr. Mitchell to calculate engineer estimates for 17 Main Street. That way, the council members have all the information to make logical decisions on what they want to do next, whether they want to proceed or look at other alternatives. So he is working on that. The next item is at the horse arena. I've received a general consensus that most of the council members, if not all, want to lease the horse arena out. And so my recommendation is I will refer that matter to the Parks and Recreation Committee for their input and then to go out to an RFP. Finally, the staff has been working diligently on the sewer rate study. I'm pushing that forward in conjunction with the capital improvement projects, and we should have an update soon. So that's high on the list of getting things done. But in closing out, I just want to thank everybody. It's been wonderful, and I continue to do the best I can. Thank you.
Thank you, George.
Council comments, committee reports, and future agenda items. Councilmember Rhodes,
I have nothing.
Mr. Mitchell.
Just a reminder, the walk for the troops on the April 27th. Hope to see everyone there. It's a great event, uniquely Ione and a fantastic piece of Ione history. Ione homecoming on the 10th and 11th of May as well, but that's all I've got.
Okay. I have none. So now we're going to go into closed session. We'll take public comment on the closed session item, which is conference with legal counsel, existing litigation. Case of Amador County, Amador case, whatever, 22 CV 12824, Amador Regional Sanitation Authority, ARSA versus City of Ione and California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. And our second one, I don't have it.
Oh, here you go.
The third page. Went into the police report. Liability claims pursuant to California Governance Code, section 54956.9. George Orozco, agency claimed, City of Ione. Name of claimant, Shane Billows, agency claimed, City of Ione. We'll take public comment on any of the closed session items at this time. Any on Zoom? Hearing none, we'll close public comment and we will move to closed session.
You're good.
Okay, we'll call the meeting back to order, coming in back from closed session, and city attorney is going to report out.
Sure. So the report out of closed session is direction was given to legal counsel to continue settlement discussions. And also both claims that were presented have been rejected by the council.
Also let the record show that Mayor LaFane arrived into closed session at
6:35.
6:35. Thank you, Jens.
Move to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor?
aye. That was called a group effort.
Effort there.
Did I give you back all your pages?
I got
I marked
I
it,
got
sorry.
Nice, huh?
And I had to have my pages.
I pulled a U. I was in